and welcome to Ignite with Mwangala, with me, Mwangala Chakalashi Santos. Now remember, the aim of this show is to bring you real people with real stories meant to leave a lasting and positive impact on your lives. Now, I do have my mask, but I'm not wearing it. Just after this, I'm going to wear it. On our show today is a philanthropist, an entrepreneur, a theologian, IT specialist, but most importantly, the founder of ACA. His name is Teddy Kalimashi. Mr. Kalimashi, welcome to Ignite with Mwangala.
Yeah, thank you, Mwangala, for inviting me. This is something that I was looking for so that we can share the vision for the
Fantastic.
nation.
Now, I have my mask. I hope you also have your mask.
Yeah, I also
for
have...
the people at home, they will
yes,
be thinking, why are they not masked?
Yes.
We are, but we just want them to be able to see us.
Yes,
and hear us.
That's correct. It's important.
Okay, now I was reading up on you, and I found something that was very interesting. Now, of course, today it's about you, not so much about your foundation,
yes,
but so much about what drives you to do what you do. So may I start by asking who Teddy Kalimashi is?
Yeah, thank you, Mwangala, for inviting me so that we can share more about the vision of my organization. Yeah, my name is Teddy Kalimashi. Yeah, a father, a farmer, an entrepreneur, and someone who loves helping people, a philanthropist. Yeah, I was born in Kasama some years back. I started my primary school there, and I started charity work when I was in grade 4. This is something that I love, and something that we have to hear more about me.
Well, you know, what really struck me is that when you were in your 4th grade, that's when you kind of discovered what your passion was, and this is to look after orphans. Why did you rather pick on orphans and not anybody else in the society? Yeah,
because I'm coming from a background of my parents who are people who help a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, though my dad died last year. Yeah, when I was in grade 4, something that just came up. I was with a friend of mine in the same grade. He was an orphan coming from very poor background. The father died and the mother was also struggling. And I thought, this is something that I have to do. This is something that I have to help this friend of mine. We visited the place of his to see how he was living, just to find out he was sleeping on the floor. And it's something that touches my heart. And it's something that I just thought, this is something that I have to do in my life. And this is something that I promised from the tender age. Cause
how old were you when you say tender age? Grade 4, I'm thinking that's around 10, 11 years old? 9, 10?
Yes, I think I was somewhere 9. Yeah, somewhere 9. But something just spoke to my mind that I think this is what I want to do in life. Because after hearing his story, the mother, and after the father died, they didn't left anything. Yeah, it's something that just touches my heart and something that I share also to my parents. Yeah, concerning the same. Then they said, I think if you have something, you can do it. Yeah, so by that time, I even started doing my business. When I was in grade 4, I started selling some sweets. And also I engaged the same friend of mine to be selling during break time. And this is something that I did until grade 7. I continued supporting the friend until we also finished grade 7. And when I was in primary school, the school identified me and picked me as a prefect, yeah, because of what I was doing. And by that time I reached grade 6, I was the one even buying school materials for the school. Yeah, the football, the balls and everything, and I became the school captain.
Oh, wow, yeah. From your own resources?
Yes, from my own business that I was doing, yeah, when I was in primary school. Yeah, this is something that's just I had passion for, because my dad was a businessman, and it's something that he shared to me to start a business so that at least at the end of the day, you're going to use the same business to sponsor people. And from that time, entrepreneurship was in me. And it's something that I thought at the end of the day, one day, nkasapota sana abantu abengi using my own business. And from there.
And there you are.
Yes.
Now talking about supporting a lot of people. I know that you now have 60,000 orphans that you're looking after?
Yes.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Take us through that journey. I mean, from one friend in grade 4.
Yes, from one
to now 60,000.
Yes, from one friend to now 60,000. This is something that hasn't just happened overnight, because this is something, it has been a journey. Yeah, because supporting people is not something just you just start today and then tomorrow you reach a lot of people, but it takes passion. Yeah, because number one, it's not just about setting up the organization, but the most important thing is passion. Because if you go in organization just for money, you are going to be a failure. Because the most important thing is about to think what you can do for other people. And this is something that I've been doing because of my passion, because of something that I love doing. Helping people is something that is in my blood. There is no one who can separate that from me. And reaching 60,000 people hadn't been easy, because when I was at Coptic Hospital, I was getting just a 500 kwacha as a salary. But that salary, by that time, I had 180 orphans at Coptic Hospital. Most of the time, I was sacrificing. That 500, I get a salary, I buy books for the orphans. And most of the time, I was sacrificing just to walk on foot from Kawata to Coptic Hospital in Garden. This is something that I was doing because of love. Because most of the orphans, they were going to school without books. And it's something that was driving me to do something. And from there, I continued the journey. I worked at Coptic Hospital for 3 years. And from that 3 years, I managed to register a business. From that 500, I managed to start buying sewing machine from that 500. This is something that I've been doing, and this is something that I loved, because I knew my business, as my parents taught me, business will help you to sponsor a lot of orphans and widows as well. And from there, I set up the business in tailoring. And at Coptic Hospital, I worked for 3 years, and after that, I resigned. I wrote my resignation letter to say to the director, this is the time that I've reached whereby I'm going to help a lot of orphans, I'm going to run my business. Then they asked me, how are you going to survive? That if you love something, you are going to survive. If you love what you love, and you are doing something that is given by God, you are going to manage. I stopped work. I concentrated on my organization. I concentrated on the business of tailoring.
Wow. Now, how do you identify these orphans? Do you have a criteria that you follow?
Yes, the way I do it now, I have 250 volunteers across the country. Yeah, in all areas in Zambia. I have traveled the whole Zambia, to see where we are as a nation, concerning the orphans, the widows, the physically challenged. And it's something that touches my heart every time I move. Because most of the time, I meet orphans explaining to me, crying. Then I see their relatives, they're not supporting them. But every time I think about what I can do for that orphan, and most of the volunteers, I've sent them to school, they have graduated, some they are in government, but we work with them. And if they pick an orphan, they have to get all information about that child. Then what is needed, then they inform me. Then I come in. Then they say, we send them to school, or we buy books for them, or we send them to university. And it's something that we have been doing.
Wow. Now, I know that women, usually we don't disclose our age, but for men it's very easy. I know, people at home are watching and wondering, so how old is he? Is he very rich? What is he doing, to sustain that project? I want to call it a project, because I think that's a huge project that you have embarked on. Yeah, because... How old are you?
Yeah, because what I think, Mwangala, it's not about age, to sponsor people. Yes, because I'm young, I have a vision, I have passion, and Zambia is our country. Yes.
How young are you?
Yeah, I'm 37 now. I've been doing charity work for 23 years now. This is something that I've grown up with. This is something that I do because God has instructed me to do. And Zambia is only our country that we can do something. You don't have to wait for you to become a politician. That's when you do something. Yeah, Zambia is about us rising up and doing something, especially us, the young people. I always share to young people, don't wait for someone to come and fix something. You have to start fixing something yourself. And it's about having a lot of money. I don't have billions, but what's important is the rich heart that I have to help the orphans. It's not about having billions of dollars. It's not about having billions of kwachas, but it's about the heart and the conviction that you have that God has instructed you to do. Because helping orphans is not something that you just get the money, you help them. It's about the connection that you have to have with that child. Because most of the time, every time I meet an orphan, before I even hear the story of that orphan, I have to connect with that orphan. The connection that I'm going to have, that's a parent. Because I have to give love first. Before I give anything, I give love, and then at the end of the day, I'm going to connect with that child. And that connection is something that is going to give that child hope of becoming a better person. And it's something that we continue doing as an organization.
Wow. Now, you talked about politics. Obviously, that's the first thing that comes to people's mind. I don't know what's wrong with us, you know. When you hear somebody who's helping, the first thing is, do you have any aspirations of becoming a politician? Do you aspire to become a politician?
My sister, in Africa, if someone is doing something, what they think about is about just politics. Yeah, but what's important is you have to wait for God to give you that voice when it's the right time for you to become one. But at the moment, God has instructed me to do what I do. Not that I'm going to aspire for politics for tomorrow or another day, but God is going to instruct, when time is right for that. Yeah, but this time I've concentrated much in reaching our people because Zambia is the only country that we have. We don't want to wait for someone to become a politician to do something. It's about bwonso kwisa pamo so that twafuirishe nga twafuirisha icharo chesikaba bwino.
Wow, that's so powerful. Now, I mean, yesterday, or is it the other day, in our interactions before this interview, you said something that really struck me. I went home thinking about it. Share your experience when you were invited to Hungary to go and do a presentation. What was that experience like? And how did you find yourself?
Yeah, because when I was invited to Hungary, to Europe, in Africa they wanted 7 Africans to go there, young people to go and share something, what they are doing in their countries. Because I applied there and I was picked among the 7 because of my work. And I was put in the poverty group. And before I went to Hungary, I talked to one of the father, may he so rest in peace, Father Amir in Ndola. Then he shared something to me. He said, what you have to do is before you go to Catholic bookshop and buy 1 DVD about Zambia. Yeah, before you speak, share it. Then at the end of the day, share about the vision that you have for the orphans and how we are fighting poverty, like in our country, like what I'm doing. Yeah, because I went there to Hungary. Before I spoke, I put the DVD for Zambia there. It was 30 minutes. Also for the orphans, 30 minutes. Then I started now. Yeah, something that I shared to all the people who are there. There were many countries there. Then I said, Africa is a rich continent. But something that has made me to come here is to come and share what you have to hear. Then I said, most of the white people, they are the ones bringing more poverty in Africa. Why? Because they don't want that poverty to finish. So that at the end of the day, they will continue bringing the handouts. But what's important is we have to give the people the skills so that poverty can end. And everyone was shocked and everyone kept quiet. Then at the end of that presentation, most of the white people came to me and then said, what you have said is correct. And we have to work together so that we give people more skills so that poverty can end. Then at the end of the day, I visited about 21 countries just to share about what I do And this is something that we have to continue doing as young people.
You are so brave. You were sitting in front of them and literally told them that you are the cause of our poverty.
Yes, because what's important is, my sister, let's give people the skills.
Yeah.
Like Africa is the rich continent. And every time I get shocked when I see we have a lot of resources in Africa. Yeah, we have a lot of money, but what is the problem? Then there is someone with that hand who is controlling things. But what's important is, as young people, we have to rise up and do something. Yeah, we don't have to cry every time what the government is not doing. We are the government. We can do something. It's not about us every time crying. Then when you are given something like empowerment, you want every time to start now showing on Facebook that you are driving a Benz, that is not important. What is important is for you to find the purpose and what you want to do. Because I have seen even in our country, Zambia. Zambia is a great country, and what's important is coming together. We don't want to wait for someone to fix our problems. We have to fix our own problems. We have to start with our own problems. Because sometimes I get shocked, most of the youth that I interact with, if you ask them, what are you doing about your life? Or what are you doing about someone who is suffering? Then they said, Boma tabatu perenchito. It's not about Boma tabatu perenchito. You can do something. Because sometimes when you are empowered, then at the end of the day you still complain that tabam perenchito. That empowerment, that's the end story in. Parapero como atampa something, then you can do something. Then at the end of the day you can impact the positive lives, even in 2 people or 3 people. Then at the end of the day, Zambia will develop. We don't want to wait for someone to come and fix our problems. We have to fix our own problems.
Wow, this is so powerful. We take a short break. On the other side, we continue talking to Teddy Kalimashi, who is a founder of A Cry of a Home of an Orphan. Don't go away.
Every day, the death toll rises and hope decreases. Zambia, what should we do? Lysol spray has become perfume. Hand sanitizer has become hand lotion. The news has become the gospel. Everyone scrambles to find the cure, but the cure is within us, ourselves as Zambians. We need to stand up and fight this coronavirus so that Zambia is coronavirus free. You stay home for me, and I'll stay at work for you. This is my Zambia, your Zambia, and our Zambia. It will only take you and me to stand up and fight this coronavirus. For this is the price and promise of citizenship. For love should lead, and love is everything. May God bless Zambia and the rest of the world. Please do your best to stay at home. If you must leave your home, please remember to mask up. Keep social distancing of at least 1 meter and wash your hands often with soap and running water or any alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Hello and welcome back. If you're joining us now, I am talking to Teddy Kalimashi, who discovered his passion for helping the orphans when he was in 4th grade. I'm asking myself, what do people do when you're in your 4th grade? I'm thinking, what was I doing when I was in my 4th grade? But there you were, trying to find yourself, and you actually found yourself. Now, for somebody who's watching at home, they're thinking, 60,000 orphans, that's quite some number. Yeah. What are you doing to ensure that, that project is sustainable and remains relevant even if today God decides to take you home?
Yeah, because the ACA is something that I created, not that even if today I'm not there, it's going to collapse. Yeah, this is something that I created so that at the end of the day, it's going to continue. The first thing is I'm building leaders. Among the 250 volunteers that I'm working, I'm building leaders. Because the most important thing is about leadership. Yeah, if you create leadership, if you create a team that is going to make sure to manage the project, if you are not there, it's the most important thing. Because what's important is everything rises and falls on leadership. Yeah, if leadership is set, then everything is going to be set. I have created most of the young people who are now leaders, who I work with. Even if I'm not there, the projects are moving. That's the most important thing. Then even my own business is something that I have done. so that at the end of the day, the resources for my business is going to sustain the project. Because I'm also an author of a book, which is also helping me in funds. I'm selling in most of the countries, even on Amazon, Book World, and now with Christian Voice as well. Because this is something that I'm creating, and then at the end of the day, something will be raised to support the orphans. I'm also working now on the farming project. Yes, I'm about to acquire the land very soon in Kabwe, so that at the end of the day, I'm going to go into poultry and livestock as well, so that at the end of the day, the project will have something. That where we are going to be getting the money to sponsor the orphans. Because at the moment, I have sponsored about 300 orphans who have graduated from different universities and colleges, and now they are working.
Single-handedly?
Yes, single-handed, without any funding from any person. Because this is something that I do just to sacrifice for the nation of Zambia. Because Zambia is the only country that we have. So if we sacrifice, Zambia can become better. Because those orphans, I picked them when there were no one to pick them. I send them to school. Then one word that I share with them is, make sure you concentrate at school. Because this is the only thing that is going to sponsor, to support you in life. And most of the orphans, they are very good in school. And every time I monitor what they do, I speak to schools, and I really have to appreciate also the government, especially on government schools. There is no government school in Zambia which is refusing my children to be in school. It's something that I appreciate. Every time I approach any government school, even if I'm not there, but just on phone call, I speak to the headmaster, they allow my children to be in school. And no government school has chased any child under my organization. It's something that I appreciate also to the government, because that's a partnership we need, because it takes leadership. Every time I talk to the headmaster in the rural areas of Zambia, every time I talk to them, I have 30 children who have to come to that school. They allow them. Even if I haven't paid anything, but they allow them. That's very good. And it's something that we have to support. And every time, most of the headmasters now, they recommend children to me. Because just yesterday, I received a call from one of the rural schools. There is this child, 7 months pregnant. The man who was pregnant, the girl was run away. Then the child started school yesterday. I had to do everything, because what's important is I shared with the mother, who is a widow, what you do is let the child be in school. Then at the end of the day, even everything what is needed for that child, for that baby, I'm going to buy. Then the child has to continue schooling. Because the most important thing is to give the children education. If you give them education, then at the end of the day, they are going to sponsor their own children. That's the most important thing. If you empower them with education, then at the end, even if I'm not there, but the children will have something to rely on. And it's something that I really appreciate. And yesterday, one of the students who is doing medicine called me and then said something that I won't disappoint you. Very soon, I'm going to be a doctor, and I'm going to sponsor a lot of orphans as well. It's something that encourages me every time. I hear most of the orphans promise me to do something for the nation. It's not about they give me money, no. It's about doing something for Zambia. And this is something that I promise God. Whether it's quite a coin, but into a inkasta. Because there is one time I sacrificed. I sold all my vehicles just to sponsor orphans. And a lot of my friends, bali nstakiriza sana, washitisha motoka, wasendinga abana kusukura ma orphans, abatabaka kusunga. It's not about keeping me. It's about adding value to Zambia. Because if we can reach a stage whereby all leaders can sacrifice for this nation, a lot of orphans, a lot of widows, a lot of physical challenge can be reached. And I see sometimes, I visit someone who is physically challenged, explaining to me the hardship they are going through. Then I see, if a lot of people can come together, then can think more about what they are going through, then Zambia can become better. It's not about you becoming a politician that when you are going to do something. It's about you sacrificing what you have. And it's not even about having billions. It's about having just a heart to do something. If you are going to have that heart, then poverty tukairwisha bwino. Tatwakaranda ati bambuya kuli abali 90 tabalire lero because someone is going to care for that mbuya. But nga tulerekeresha tukasanga ekyalo bonsi tukalalirafi. Then nga tulelirafi, then Zambia tapale okwa ikaya. But Zambia is a great nation. And God loves us as a nation. So we just have to come together, love our people, and do something for that child who is suffering in that area. We can do something, I know. And with just coming together, we can do a lot. Because most of the time, when I receive a call from a student who hasn't gone to school, then they said, just help me with 1,000, I pay school fees. It's something that breaks my heart every time. And I see a lot of orphans, a lot of children, they are not going to school because they don't have that 200 to go to school. But how many people in this nation who have got the 200 who can help someone? Look behind you, see that orphan who is suffering, and just do something. Because at the end of the day, God will never leave you. God will bless you because of what you do. It's not about having billions or having a lot of money. It's about sacrificing and showing the love to other people, especially the orphans and the widows.
Wow. That's so powerful. You know, you make me feel proud to be Zambian. And I know there are so many Zambians out there that have been inspired from this. And I know you've rightly put it, we can help. Yeah. You know, you're talking about how a 200 kwacha can actually support a child.
Yeah, to go to school,
I'm
yes.
Here asking myself, how many times have I had that 200 kwacha and used it on things that I cannot even account for?
Even on talk time.
Exactly, for talk time. You know, for ladies, we going for our nails and all these things. It's really something. I'm so touched. Now, let's talk about your family. You're calling these kids that you're supporting your children. Yeah. You know, it's so amazing for me. How many biological children do you have? And I know you told me that your wife also is supporting. How are you working together with your wife just to strike a balance between what you're doing and also remaining a father to your biological children? Yeah,
because what's important is, Mwangala, if you have got that passion, God is going to send you someone who's going to understand. Because for me, there is no one who can separate me from helping people, no matter what. Yeah, because sometimes I sacrifice a lot of money to help. And thank God that my wife has been supporting me a lot. And even my own children, I've got 4. Yeah, very beautiful girls. Yeah, and now a boy who is the junior. Yeah, I'm also building my own children to love children, because every time I had a party, going to an orphanage, I go with them, and I've also adopted at my own place children from Mrs. I'm raising them. This is something that I do because of love, and my own children, they love people. Every time I buy them something, they have to remind me to buy for others. And they know, if I'm buying something, Mupeleka orphanage, they understand, they know. They know, every time they know. And my wife has been very supportive, because most of the time, like the uniforms for the orphans, she's the one who makes them, and also workers. And it's something that God has blessed me with, someone who understands. Even if I get some money, she never complains, because she knows what I do. She knows what I love. There is no one who can separate me from helping people. And she stands with me in prayers, and that's number one. Because if you find a wife who's going to stand with you in prayers, no matter what challenges, I've gone through challenges in helping people. I have gone through prosecutions, I've gone through name calling, I've gone through a lot, but my wife stands with me. It's something that I really appreciate. And where I am now, it's that time just to celebrate because of how many people we are impacting. And it's something that makes me happy, because helping people makes me very happy. If I help someone go to school, it's something that makes me happy. If I help a widow, I build a house for them. It's something that makes me happy every time, because I know I have done something. And God is the only one who gives me the wisdom and the strength, because what I ask for is just the wisdom and the strength. Because under the organization as well, I train widows, orphans, and also young people in my centers. I give them free skills across the country. So far, I have trained more than 10,000 under my centers. I offer entrepreneurship. Me, I teach business. And I've also raised youths who are now teachers, who are teaching them, tailors. Because this is something that we do. Because a lot of widows, orphans who have trained, now they are in big hotels working. And there is one who came from Zimbabwe, one of the youths. Then she's now based in Botswana. She just called me, "Sir, narisange nchitono mbande bomba. Then I'm also doing tailoring." And she buys the materials from Zambia. And I sent to her. And she's doing a lot of things there. She's now one of the girls who is doing most of the designs there in Botswana. This is something that makes me happy. And under my centers, I don't choose. This one is a Christian, this one is a Muslim, this one is what. What's important is we have to fight the poverty. And the love, that's the most important thing. Because if you love, you are not going to say this one is this religion, this one is this. What's important is just to help. When you help, that's Christianity.
True.
Because we have to help. Because under my centers, I have trained a lot of Muslims, sisters. I've empowered a lot of Muslim sisters. I've empowered a lot of children who are Muslims, who are now in school. And it's something that makes me happy, because what's important is just to love. And what we are fighting for, it's not about religion, it's about poverty. As a nation of Zambia, we are a Christian nation, but we have different religions that we have to respect as well. And we have to help. It's not about influence afurisha fia obotulongana nabo mu church. What's kwafurisha bonse fie. Takwe kulolera no uyumu Muslim uyumu chani bonse tule fighting a poverty. So kunu afe bonse twarwisha abantu bonse baba bwino. Bonse nga twaba bwino ni chitalo chaba bwino. Because now that we are fighting the pandemic COVID-19, we are all helping.
In our own small little way.
Yes.
Now, I want you to hold that thought. When we come back, we continue talking about what you are doing, especially in your centers, to fight COVID-19.
Yeah, thank you.
We take a short break. On the other side, we continue talking to Teddy Kalimash. Stay with us.
Every day, the death toll rises and hope decreases. Zambia, what should we do? Lysol spray has become perfume. Hand sanitizer has become hand lotion. The news has become the gospel. Everyone scrambles to find the cure, but the cure is within us, ourselves as Zambians. We need to stand up and fight this coronavirus so that Zambia is coronavirus free. You stay home for me, and I'll stay at work for you. This is my Zambia, your Zambia, and our Zambia. It will only take you and me to stand up and fight this coronavirus. For this is the price and promise of citizenship. For love should lead, and love is everything. May God bless Zambia and the rest of the world. Please do your best to stay at home. If you must leave your home, please remember to mask up. Keep social distancing of at least 1 meter and wash your hands often with soap and running water or any alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Welcome back. If you're joining us now, we are talking to Mr. Teddy Kalimashi, who is an entrepreneur, a theologian, IT specialist, but most importantly, the founder of ACA. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about COVID-19.
COVID-19, yes.
So how are you looking at the numbers that you have? Are these people in one place, or are they spread out across the country?
Yeah, there's 60,000 orphans that are in different places
Homes.
across the country, yes. Because these are the schools that have set, the community schools that have set, and the orphans are receiving free education in those schools. Yes, because what I'm doing now to fight COVID-19, because I've so far donated about 250,000 free masks to all the children in our community schools and in government schools as well.
So and including our own government schools?
Yes, even our own government schools, because that's our responsibility to do. We don't have to wait for the government. It's us, the government, we have to do that. Because now I'm targeting 750,000 masks. I'm now making them so that we continue giving the children also the sensitizers. And I am fighting that because Zambia is the only nation that we have. And those children that are in those schools, in community schools, in government schools, those are our children. Takuri ati no twalanolela uliali judge tepo uliali judge teacher. It's us who have to do that.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you can get just a 6-meter material. Washita 6 meters, mwatunga kwa mask even 100. Mwatolila kwa na paskuru. You have done something for the nation. Because if you are waiting for a leader somewhere to do something, then at the end of the day, Zambia tapata kutukaya. But we have to build that spirit of kubombera pamo. Ngatabombera pamo. Even COVID-19, abantu balefwa mulemo even mu Zambia hapa ama numbers yale nina. Ama numbers every time yale nina. But so kutontonkanya. What are you doing? So that wapera kwa mwana ulia, uli munulo eri utakwete mask. Takwete chili chonse. And alenda na makasa. And takwete po sanitize ili yonse. What are you thinking about that child? Think about it, what you can do. Then wasangati, wagura 5,000, wayashita champagne, wanwa. Umwana udia, takwete mask. And mask, kubura fechitenga wampangira wampera umwana. Think about it, what you can do for the nation. Not what the nation can do for you. If you are going to think in that line, then Zambia will develop. Because it's not about having that mindset that no, it's about thinking about other people, what we can do. If you think about someone, community school, yeah, umutenge parifiani. Are they survivors during this COVID-19? Think about it. Think about it, what we can do, because they need education. But think about it, what you can do. Even in Lusaka, there are a lot of schools. When you go there, you can even cry. But you are spending a lot of money on less important things. But a lot of children, they are in schools. Sometimes you never school, but you are doing nothing about that school. But you have money to do something. You have 100 kwacha, you can buy some masks and give to the children. Even 10 of them, you have done something. Even for 2, you have done something. Yeah. Then at the end of the day, COVID-19 will be fought.
Yeah, yes. If we work together collectively.
Yes, we have to work together and fight COVID-19. And we have to remember, God is the one who is going to fight this disease.
For sure.
And we have to follow what the government is saying. Sanitize, mask up, and social distancing, and stay home.
And stay home, for sure. I love that. Now, what is the relationship between your children and your other children? I want to call them your other children.
Yes.
Because you refer to them as my children.
Yes.
So what kind of a relationship have they
made?
My
biological children, these are children that have trained to love people. The relationship that you have, that they have with this student that I have, is excellent. And it's something that every time I appreciate, because most of the time they remind me, and they know. Every time I'm buying something for the orphans, they know. My brothers, my sisters, they understand, they know. And every time, because like in On 1st January, I was celebrating with 1,000 orphans in Mrs. Compound under our center there. My children were there. My children were there on the line getting food. They sit. They don't sit. When we go there, they don't sit at the They have
they
to
mingle. They interact with
all
their
the children. And most of the time, where they stay, I take them there. Where they stay, I take them there so that we spend time there. And the relationship that I'm building is very strong. And we have to continue doing that as parents.
Yeah.
Yes, because this is something that I have seen. Extended family now is gone in Zambia. And every time, it pains me every time. There are a lot of orphans that I've picked from town. Now most of them, they are in secondary school. And every time I ask, but bad in Tamfia. I visit the relatives, I talk to them, then because abana beso because ubuntu wayakwisa, yes, wayakwisa. No, but this time bana bandi chapwa. But we have to think about, because the same orphans that you are chasing, the same orphans baramune Tamfia. Eba kesa misunga wande, eba kasunga rabana, when we just don't know. Because a lot of orphans that have sent to even to university, this time they are the ones now supporting even ababatamfisha abana. Eba sunga. And it's something that every time you have to ask, because they start quite a secret. They start quite a secret. But abana babya, alaba kwatira sana idia, because is the father to the widows, is the father to the fatherless. Because that's something that you have to remember. Because pure religion, John 1 verse 27, pure religion is about these two people, orphans and widows.
And the widows, yeah.
Please, 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 I appeal to you, everyone who is listening. Think about that orphan. Think about that widow, what you can do. It's very important. And if you mistreat the orphans, know that your own children
somehow will go
will go through the same. If you grab properties for them, just know that one day everything will go.
Back to
yes. But what's important is we have to think more about what these children are passing through. Even as a nation, we want to
True.
Because that pain that they go through,
it's too much.
It's something that we have to think about.
True.
Yes.
Now, talking about the nation, Mr. Kalimashi, the president recently honored you. What was that about?
Yeah, because Mwangara, something that I have to appreciate for the president is to...
In this case, we're talking about the Republican president.
Yes, the Republican
Zambia.
president, yes. Yeah. His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Because it's something that I appreciate. Yes, because I have been working for many years. Yeah, doing what I do.
23 years.
Yes, I thank God for that. But God spoke through the president, to realize what I've been doing. And it's something that I appreciate. I received a call. I was briefed. You are among the people that are going to honor.
Did you expect that? Did you see that coming?
I didn't expect it. It was just a surprise call. I received it. By that time, I was visiting the children in Kanyama. They said, just come right now. There is something that we have to share. Then they said, you are among the people that the president has recognized to be honored because of what you have been doing. We have to appreciate you this time. And the president honored me with a president insignia of honor for my charity works. Yeah, that I dedicated it to orphans and widows. That's the celebration of them. And I really have to thank the president for that. God spoke through him.
And he remembered your works.
Yes, and he remembers the works, and that's very important.
Yeah, and talking about your works, I know that you're not just doing these works in Zambia, but you're also doing the same works in Uganda and Pakistan.
Yes, yeah, because in Pakistan now it's 3 years.
Doing the same, supporting orphans.
Yes, doing the same. There's one of the ladies that contacted me on Facebook. Yeah, she's a pastor in Pakistan. Yeah, and then she said, my brother, I've been following you for many years. It was 5 years. I've been following you, but this time I think I have to contact you so that at the end of the day, there are a lot of children who are suffering here. What can you do about it? Then I kept quiet. because this work is about God. When I want to work with someone, I ask God to give me the wisdom and the direction.
Oh, you don't just go.
I just don't pick people to work with. I pray about it and God has to show me the way. I prayed about the woman. God allowed it.
And there you are. Have you been to Pakistan before?
No, I haven't been there. We communicate on the
But
daily
you're
basis.
supporting.
Yes, we communicate on the daily basis. The children are going to school. The children have books, and it's something that makes me happy. And I'll
Wow.
continue doing that. And I'm targeting in Pakistan, I'm targeting even 1,500 orphans.
How many do you have now?
Because right now I have 500.
500,
Yes,
okay.
but I'm targeting by the time it's December, we are going to talk about different numbers.
Wow.
Yes, and something that I want to do. Even the project there for the women in Pakistan is starting as well. We want to give them the skill in tailoring. We are also working on the center, and the
Wow,
machines that will be acquired soon.
Powerful. Now, a quick one. How far are you with building the house of Mwansa Chakopo? Is that the word? Mwansa
Yes,
Chakopo,
yes,
the 90-year
yeah.
old from Mansa.
Yes.
How far are you? I saw that posting on Facebook.
Yes, because this woman, she's 90 years old. I sent the materials there to give to the orphans. I have offered a lot of orphans in Mansa, a lot of widows under my sponsorship there in Mansa. For many years I've been working there. Last week I sent materials.
For them to build a house for her?
No, for them first to give them the books for the orphans, the clothes and everything. And the old lady was sitting there. They sent me the photo for the old lady. I communicated to the volunteer, get in touch with that old lady so that I know what is happening. Because God is showing me something that the woman, tabadaikara bueno. And the volunteer said, sir, I'll go there on Wednesday because it was on a Saturday. I'll go there on Wednesday. I said, you don't have to go on Wednesday. Go tomorrow.
So that you see
on
exactly
Sunday, yes, so
happening.
that we see what that woman is going through, because I can see there is something that woman is going through. Sunday, I'm going to church. That's what my volunteer said. Then I said, church, ukapepera kuba fiyashi kula kabye kula queen ko ukapepera church line. Just go there.
And see what's happening.
Yes, just go there. Then I sent her money to buy the foodstuffs. Then she went there. She sent me the photos. It's something that pains me a lot to see abafiyashi balala panshi, abafiyashi balefimba n'ekitenge. And just from there, we have to give her food. I have to give her the blanket.
And she's okay now?
Yes.
Wow.
So now, starting next week, the building is starting. The bricklayer is on the ground, getting the information so that we build a decent house.
For her.
Because that one is a death trap.
Wow, wow. Now I'll have to cut your thought process there. I know you've been following Father Chilinda's works, and when you came here, you know, you were actually surprised that he was working with us here.
Yeah.
You followed him closely, and I think you and I agreed that we're going to do this program in honor of him.
Yes.
Because he also, like you, loved selflessly. How would you like to remember him? And what are some of the things that you've learned? I know we don't have a lot of time, but what would you like to talk about Father Chilinda, especially one or two lessons that you learned from him?
Yes. Mwangala, Father Chilinda was a father to me as well. That's the man I was following a lot. Yeah, on TV. There is one time I even visited the church just to listen to what the father was teaching, especially on peace and love. Every time there was tension in the nation, Father Chilinda was the first one. And that's the man who inspires me a lot. And when I heard that Father Chilinda has COVID-19, I was at pain. And I prayed to God so that he can be well. but Teresa allowed it. Because Father Chirinda was a peacemaker. Father Chirinda was a man who loved the poor. Father Chirinda was a man who wanted peace every time, even among politicians. He could bring them together, make peace, and that was something that was making me feel, if we can have
people like him.
Yes, people like Father Chirinda, even 10 of them in our nation, then instead among politicians, ngatakwaba, even violence, itumurati, cadres, they are killing each other. Father Chirinda always wanted peace. And I could remember the father as a man who loved helping people. And I was watching one video. All about my prisoners. He was cooking somewhere. And those are people that we need.
Wow. I'm going to cut you there because now we're going to go in this Father Chirinda. You know, we're all still mourning him. He was a great man.
Yeah.
And I think he lived his life.
Yes, yes. And he did what
he achieved
was
his purpose. Yes. In as much as we didn't want him to go, but he had to go.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Kalimashi, if you're on your deathbed and you were given the second chance to live, what is that one thing that you would do differently?
What I can do, my sister, just to ask God to bless all the orphans and the widows, and also to let our leaders start putting Zambia as one, and also to our leaders to think more about the people. It's not about fighting that is going to develop Zambia, but it's about having the peace and the love for humanity. That's very important.
Wow. That's so powerful.
God bless you.
Thank you so much for coming to Ignite with Mwangala. And that's what we do. We are all about igniting the best in people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and may God bless you for all the works.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
And I promise every time I want to spend a 200, I'll remember not to spend it anyhow,
yes,
but to know that there's that child
there's
that
someone,
needs it.
yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
So there you have it. All of us can make a difference. Many a times we tend to think, I can only make a difference when I have a lot of money. But you can always start from where you are with what you have. This has been Mwangala Chakalashi Santos. Join us for another exciting episode of Ignite with Mwangala.